The story of America is a story of movement. From the first settlers pushing westward, to waves of immigrants reshaping cities, to families today, loading moving trucks and searching for opportunity elsewhere. The United States has always been defined by the restless pursuit of something better. But unlike earlier chapters, the movement we see now is not only about expansion, it is about rebalancing. Populations are not simply growing outward. They are shifting, pulling resources, power, and identity away from traditional centers toward new frontiers. Every migration leaves its imprint. In the 20th century, millions of Americans left rural farms to seek industrial jobs in cities. Later, as highways stretched across the nation, suburban sprawl redefined what it meant to be American. Cities like Detroit, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh once stood at the beating heart of the nation's economy. But as industries declined, so did their populations. What is happening today echoes those cycles. Only this time, the push and pull are sharper. The current exodus is not only about economic opportunity, but also about cost of living, lifestyle, and in some cases, politics. It is about a search for affordability in an era when wages stagnate, but housing prices soar. It is about parents seeking safety, space, and better schools. And it is about workers freed by technology, no longer tethered to office towers in San Francisco, New York, or Chicago. The movement of people is creating a divergence between states and regions. On one side, high-cost, high-density states, places like California, New York, Illinois, struggle with shrinking populations and declining tax bases. On the other side, states in the South and Mountain West are surging, fueled by inbound migration. Texas, Florida, Arizona, and Tennessee are no longer just affordable alternatives. They are becoming the new engines of growth. This divergence isn't simply about numbers. It changes the way communities look, vote, and operate. As families leave expensive cities, they take with them not only their incomes, but their values, their habits, and their demands. Local economies transform under the weight of new arrivals. A small town might suddenly need new schools, larger hospitals, and expanded highways. And with each wave of migration, the political map itself begins to tilt. But migration isn't only from one state to another. It is also within states. Cities continue to lose residents to surrounding suburbs and rural areas. Remote work has accelerated this. What once required a 2-hour commute can now be done from a kitchen table in a small town. People are discovering that a slower pace of life, lower housing costs, and open space are not just luxuries. They are essential to mental health and family stability. Yet this shift also brings tension. Longtime residents of smaller towns often feel their communities changing too quickly. Rising home prices, new cultural norms, and outside investment can spark friction. For some, the arrival of new neighbors is opportunity. For others, it is disruption. This quiet tension, felt in school board meetings, town councils, and neighborhood debates, represents the subtle undercurrents of America's reshaping. At the heart of this population reshuffling lies a simple truth. Economics drives movement. Consider housing costs. In California, the median home price exceeds $800,000, while in states like Texas or Tennessee, families can purchase larger homes for half the price. Add to this the rising costs of taxes, childcare, and healthcare in large cities, and the choice becomes clear for many households. Employers follow this movement. Corporations are relocating headquarters to more affordable states, bringing jobs and investment with them. In some ways, it mirrors the industrial shifts of decades past, when factories closed in the Rust Belt and reappeared in the Sun Belt. But unlike before, the shift is no longer tied only to physical infrastructure. It is tied to digital freedom, mobility, and lifestyle. The redistribution of people creates ripple effects far beyond economics. As populations shift, so does cultural influence. Regions once dismissed as peripheral, the South, the Mountain West, are now central to America's identity. New music scenes, food cultures, and tech hubs emerge in places once considered flyover country. Politically, migration redraws the map. States gaining new residents gain congressional seats and electoral votes, while shrinking states lose influence. This redistribution of power fuels debates about representation, fairness, and the future balance of red and blue America. The question lingers. Will newcomers adapt to the culture of their new states? Or will they bring enough change to reshape the culture itself? Behind the data and maps are personal stories. A young couple priced out of their coastal apartment, moving inland in search of a yard where their children can play. A retiree leaving a cold northern city for the warmth and affordability of the South. A freelancer who realizes she can build her career from anywhere and chooses the slower rhythms of a smaller town. Each decision may seem individual, but together, they form a chorus, a voice saying that the old centers of gravity no longer hold. The American dream is being reimagined, and the roads leading to it are no longer the same ones that guided past generations. Yet, this migration is not without consequences. As populations boom in some areas, infrastructure strains. Roads clog. Housing prices rise. And resources stretch thin. Cities that once promised affordability risk becoming the very places people sought to escape. Meanwhile, states losing residents face shrinking tax bases, underfunded schools, and declining public services. This imbalance raises critical questions. Can fast-growing states manage growth sustainably? Can struggling states reinvent themselves and recover? Or will America's population divide harden into permanent winners and losers? America's shifting landscape is more than a demographic chart. It is the foundation of the nation's next chapter. These migrations will shape the economy, the culture, and the politics of the 21st century. The exodus we see today is not an end point, but the beginning of a new cycle. History tells us that movement is woven into the DNA of America. Each wave of migration sparks both challenge and renewal. Just as the Great Migration of African Americans from the South reshaped cities, or the Dust Bowl exodus reshaped California, today's shift will leave lasting legacies. What we are witnessing now is a country in motion, redefining where power, opportunity, and community live. Whether this new balance leads to unity or division, prosperity or struggle, depends on how leaders, communities, and individuals respond. The shifting landscape of America is not just about where people go, but why they move, what they seek, and what they leave behind. From the crowded streets of coastal cities to the open spaces of the South and Midwest, the American story is being rewritten. And as the nation rebalances itself, one truth remains. The search for a better life will always drive people forward. This is America. In motion, in transformation, in search of its next horizon.